Hello and welcome, BitMonger family. Jay here, the original, or I should say one of the original OGs in Southeast Asia, in particular Thailand. I am sitting here kicking it on my sofa, taking dank rips and making money off of crypto and stocks. If you guys, like my content, please like and subscribe. Put some comments in there. If not, at least I'm documenting this for my son, which I'm sure he and my grandson someday will likely enjoy. So in today's video, I am going to be going over, a quick update on Bitcoin, what I'm seeing in the markets, our altcoins that I've been talking about, quick analysis on that, some updates on things that I see in the news, Coinbase, Coinbase stock, and where I believe Coinbase is heading. It's a jam-packed video today of information, so got a lot to get through. Let me get on to it. So we can see the current market is Bitcoin's trading at 119,000, Ethereum's at 3,650, XRP's at 320, Solana's at 191. Okay, we can see on the 24-hour here, a lot of our altcoins have been going down, and that's expected because they just had a recent rip. Nothing goes up in a straight line. There are always pullbacks, and those should be considered buying opportunities in a bull market, guys. So I'll be sharing some fib levels in a bit on those coins and where you might want to be nibbling. But first, let's take a look at Bitcoin and what's happening there. So like I said, it's right now it's trading at 118 and went down a bit. I expect it to be range bound. I think this is the new support line, like around 116K. So it's probably range bound between 116 and 120K. It did get up to 122 yesterday, but I expect 116 to 120 range bound there. You might want to be nibbling a little bit when it gets down to 116. Now, if that were to break, the next area of interest would be like right here around 114K. And then if that were to break, then down here at this line at 111. If it gets down to either 114 or 111, I do expect it to bounce off of that, though. So that's what I see with going on Bitcoin. It's holding strong and looking good. So let's take a look at this interview. This is the CEO. He's with PNC Bank. And just so you guys know, PNC is the seventh largest bank in the United States, so it's quite big. Let's take a quick look at what he has to say here.
PNC announcing a strategic partnership with Coinbase this hour, expanding access to digital assets for their banking clients and their institutional investors, providing some banking services for Coinbase. Our Leslie Picker brought us that news earlier this morning and joins us now alongside PNC CEO. Morning, Leslie.
Hi, good morning, Carl, and thank you, Bill Debchuk, for joining us today
Thank you for having me.
On the heels of this news. And we're here in Washington, of course. I'm just curious. You mentioned in the release that you have plans to develop an initial offering allowing clients to buy, hold, and sell crypto. What does that look like exactly? Is this a stable coin? Is this a deposit token? Any more color you can share?
Yeah, so think of the business we're in. We help people save, spend, invest, borrow, move money. In crypto, stable coin, in theory, is going to be a payment rail, and our clients are going to want to use it, and our job is to empower our clients to move money.
All right, so there you have it. We got another big partnership, and they are partnering up with Coinbase. Okay, this is more adoption, guys, and this adoption is going to continue. Now, this makes me extremely bullish on Coinbase stock, okay? And I would be looking at that stock and looking to get a position because I do believe it is going to become a massive player, not just in crypto, but in banking. And it's also going to be part of the plumbing of this new Web3 and digital stablecoin, crypto. It's gonna be a framework it's gonna be a major player in that. And let me show you why. What was that? Okay, here it is. Check this out. This is going to blow your mind. Right, watch. So, I asked what % of Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs are being held by Coinbase, and right here it says, right here, man, Coinbase serves as the custodian for a significant portion of Bitcoin and Ethereum exchange-traded funds in the U.S. based on available data. Coinbase is the custodian for 10 out of 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs and 8 out of 9 spot Ethereum ETFs. Wow. If that doesn't make you bullish as fuck, I don't know what would. Okay? That is massive. So the next thing I wanted to know is, I'm thinking, okay, well, is Coinbase going to be applying for a banking license? And I asked Google, and Google AI came back with yes, Coinbase is actively considering applying for a U.S. federal banking license. A spokesperson confirmed with the company is exploring this option, though no formal decision has been made yet. Okay, it's coming down the pipe, guys. They're on the record of saying that they're exploring this option. I believe it's going to happen. Now, currently, Coinbase, the stock's market cap, is at around 100 billion. And where was that? I think it's this one. Yes. And let's compare that with other banks. Okay. So currently, Coinbase, based on that, would be ranked about number 6. It would be ranked number 6. And I do believe that it has a lot of room to grow. Ultimately, I believe Coinbase, if it gets its banking license and due to the crypto movement, stable coins, and how that's all moving forward, the ETFs, all of that, I believe it will eventually be in this top 3. So it's got a lot of room to grow. A lot of room to grow. So this is a long-term investment, guys. This isn't short-term, so keep that in mind. All right. So the next thing I was considering is this Genuis Act and the whole stable coins, like what we just saw in the video, is a really big deal. Let's take a look at this other video real quick. Okay. Check this out, guys.
All right, so where are you on crypto? Yesterday on the show, PNC announced that they're going to have a partnership with Coinbase. Schwab was on the show talking about how they're going to launch a Coinbase competitor. Now that we have some regulation here around stablecoin and crypto, how are you feeling about getting in and using it as potentially a platform and option for your clients?
I mean, it's early, but I think it has a lot of promise, and particularly around stablecoin. And obviously, the Genuis Act was just last week. But when you think about stablecoin, there's really a few things. There's the institutional piece, which will be the equivalent of like prime brokerage. That will be dominated by a single handful of international banks. The huge volume, relatively narrow margins. That's not really an opportunity or a challenge for us. The next is as a store of value, and clearly to the extent, Sarah, that our clients want it and they want to hold it in their wallets, we will accommodate that. And so,
all right, so another fairly big bank. This is Key Bank. They're primarily in the Midwest, but they're still a fairly large bank. They're like I looked it up. They're about the 27th largest bank in the United States. They serve Midwest and in New York primarily. And they're bullish. All right. So the next thing I wanted to look at is due to this regulatory, the new law, the Genuis Act, or the stablecoin bill, basically, that got passed into law now. I want to know who's going to benefit from this. You know, who's going to be the biggest beneficiary? So I asked Grok 4 AI. I asked it. I'm like, what coins are most likely going to benefit from the Genuis Act? And here's the list that it gave me. First off is USDC Circle, USDC. And as I had mentioned in a previous video, this stock absolutely ripped to the upside, and it's a big deal. So USDC is number 1, US dollar tethers the second. They're looking at coming onshore to the United States. And then the third one is Ripple's RLUSD. And look at my video from yesterday on Ripple. I believe, even though I don't necessarily like the tokenomics of that coin, I believe the hype in its position with FedNow and all this stuff. Check out the video yesterday. It's going to do well with this bull market and adoption of stablecoins. So let's take a look at what was it here. So since Circle was number one, right? Circle is number one, most likely to benefit USDC. I want to know, what is Circle minting on? So I asked, how much Circle's USDC has been minted on Ethereum and Solana in 2025? And it is astonishing, guys. We can see right here, on Solana, 12.75 billion USDC in 2025. Ethereum, 283 million. It's like night and day, guys. And why? So it says right here, the data indicates a strong preference for Solana in 2025, likely due to its scalability, low transaction costs, and growing DeFi ecosystem, which have driven significant liquidity needs. While Ethereum remains a key platform for USDC, the reported minting, okay, so it gets into the minting activity where it's not as clear on ETH. But the bottom line is this, guys, as I had mentioned before, if you are going to put in a stable coin, it needs to be able to scale. It needs to be able to handle massive, transactions, and it needs to be able to settle. It needs to be able to settle quickly. So it's got to be fast and it's got to settle quickly. And Solana is the clear winner in this case. So bullish on Solana, guys. Don't dismiss it. I think it's going to be huge in the future. Also, when the ETF comes around, and if it's got staking, I think when Wall Street sees this, it's going to rip. Also, as I noted yesterday, Ripple is going to likely do an IPO, the stock. And when that happens, guys, I believe it is going to rip, similar to Circle. So you might want to be keeping an eye on that as well. I'm going to be looking to position myself into that and take advantage of that. And I think, okay, so let's go into fib levels real quick on those altcoins that I had mentioned. So first, let's look at Ethereum. What would I be looking to buy Ethereum at or add to my bag if I wasn't exposed to it yet? And currently we saw this massive rip from the upside here. Completely went up. I can even I'll just pull this up. I'll just pull this up to the green, and I'll just leave it the way it is. So guys, this is where I would be looking on the fib levels. The first area that I would be nibbling at is at around 3,450. Okay, on this fib level, you might want to be nibbling there if it does get a retracement down there. The next level here is at 3,200. Okay. That's where I'd be looking to buy on any kind of retracement, because look at that rip. It's bound to retrace some. So this is the first area that I'd be looking to buy it at, 3,440. And then 3,200 it was. I think it was 3,193. All right. Let's take a look at Sol. Okay, so here we have Solana. Let's zoom in on this a little bit closer so we can see it better. And we can see it did absolutely rip. The first level here is like right around 190. It's currently trading right at that. So might be a good time to be adding to your position, nibbling here right now. Okay, the next one is down here at roughly 181. 181 and a half, okay? 180 to 182, I would say. And that area is a good area to nibble. If it gets a 50% retracement, we're looking down here at right around 174. The golden pocket is hitting right here at 166, call it 167. It's a good area. And the next level down, would be 156. It surprised me if it gets down here. But if it gets in anywhere in this zone from the 50% retracement from 174 down to 155, I would consider that a really good buying opportunity, guys. But again, nothing that I'm saying here is financial advice. Remember, I'm just a stoner sitting on a sofa in Thailand, doing my thing. You do you. If you don't know what you're doing, you know, I would consult a financial advisor, or do your own research. That's the main thing. Do your own research before you make any financial decisions. Nothing that I'm saying in here should be construed as financial advice. Okay, I hope you're all doing well, and monger on.